Hi everyone. This week I had an opportunity to learn a little bit about the gold rush and specifically the impact on our environment. Gold was first discovered at Sutter's Mill in California January 24th, 1848, and our gold rush was the first in history to be an equal opportunity. Basically, anybody from anywhere could come and go on public land and find gold, and they could strike it rich. It was the beginning of an American dream. There in the picture, you can see some of the miners panning for gold. So who were these 49ers, as they were called? In 1848, there were 15,000 or so non-Native Americans here in California. By 1852, just a few years later, the number jumped to 223,000 non-Native Americans. So everyone was coming here looking for their piece of the pie, so to speak, for their chance at finding some gold. One of the quotes that I found really interesting in our eBrary book, but seeking for it at the depth from 25 to 100 feet, it is work of chance and requires capital. But such is the character of the American people, that they will not stop their reaches until every foot of the earth in this vast El Dorado has been prospected to the bedrock. So basically, even then, they could see the fire in people's eyes, their will, they're driven to find that gold. I feel like we need to understand who the 49ers were before we can really go into how the environment was really affected by the way that they mined. The gold rush was primarily a man's world. It was wild, free, unconstrained, exuberant. There was a basic sense of youth there. It could be nasty at times. There wasn't a whole lot of law. They kind of took it upon themselves. There was fighting and murders at some of the sites. I read that 1 out of every 12 49ers lose their life either en route to or in or returning from the mine in our text. There was also temptations to drink too much, to gamble it away, to squander on prostitutes. The murder rate in the mines was horrendous, as I said. It was a social activity for all these young men to get together, find their gold, but that didn't really stop what went on from outside influence. There Sorry about that. I had lost my train of thought for a moment. My kids were calling me. Anyways, so yes, the miners, initially when they got there, it was kind of panning for gold, and like this man here with his dog. They would get together by the riverbed and look in the water, and even then, just debris would get left behind, plant life would get moved, dirt, debris and slit clogged rivers and creeks, and then it fed into the rivers of the Central Valley. So the panning wasn't as dangerous to the environment as what we'll see next, but it definitely did change California's landscape, even just moving things from here to there. So this is kind of how it started, and then it just progressed from there. Okay, so one of the biggest damaging things to our environment was the introduction of this hydraulic mining. Not only did this high-powered water wash away rock and sediment, it cleared debris into our rivers, it affected where the animals lived, what they ate, and another thing is they used machinery to do this, so they used a lot of timber, lumber, so trees were being cut down. All kinds of trees, mahogany, oak, juniper, they would use it for fuel for the machines, they would turn it into charcoal. So that was just the revegetation. Everything is being affected by the way that these guys are mining. And I believe at this time they were so young and really just in it for getting the gold. I don't think that anyone was thinking about the long range picture of living, what life would be like in California, or how it would even drain down into the other states and lakes and rivers. It was more about the immediate, what's happening right now, what can I get out of this. I believe that maybe they thought they would come to California, get the gold, and then take it back to a place where they could settle. I don't know that anybody thought that they might be settling here where they were destroying the land. So here you see some devastation, obviously probably modern times, but just to give you an idea of the impact that we make on our earth, that God created for us. The sea is his, for he made it, and his hands formed the dry land, and yet we come in and take what we need and take advantage of natural resources. I've learned in a couple other courses ways to reduce my carbon footprint, and I just had no idea until now how early on, the destruction of the United States happened. This gold rush, people came in having one thing on their mind, and that was wealth, and they really didn't care what was happening to the earth below them, which is pretty sad.